Hello, loves. So we are continuing the Third Geneva Convention. Prisoners of War. Part 3. Captivity. Article 17. Every prisoner of war, when questioned on the subject, is bound to give only his surname, first name, and rank, date of birth, army regimental, personal, or serial number, or, failing this, equivalent information. If he willfully infringes this rule, he may render himself liable to a restriction of the privileges accorded to his rank or status. Each party to a conflict is required to furnish the persons under its jurisdiction who are liable to become prisoners of war with an identity card, showing the owner's surname, first name, rank, army regimental, personal, or serial number, or equivalent information, and date of birth. The identity card may, furthermore, bear the signature or fingerprints, or both, of the owner, and may bear as well any other information the party to the conflict may wish to add concerning persons belonging to its armed forces. As far as possible, the card shall measure 6.5 by 10 centimeters and shall be issued in duplicate. The identity card shall be shown by the prisoner of war upon demand, but may in no case be taken away from him. No physical or mental torture, nor any other means of coercion may be inflicted on prisoners of war to secure from them information of any kind whatever. Prisoners of war who refuse to answer may not be threatened, insulted, or exposed to any unpleasant or disadvantageous treatment of any kind. I always have trouble with that word. Disadvantageous treatment of any kind. Prisoners of war who, owing to their physical or mental condition, are unable to state their identity shall be handed over to the medical service. The identity of such prisoners shall be established by all possible means, subject to the provisions of the preceding paragraph. The questioning of prisoners of war shall be carried out in a language which they understand. And when it comes to getting information out of prisoners, I really suggest you look into how England treated its German officers who were taken as prisoners of war. They took these German officers, this is not in the book, this is history, they took these officers and they put them in a very nice estate, which they bugged the crap out of, and they plied them with plenty of booze. And they would talk amongst themselves. This worked so well that they started doing it with the regular German POWs. Remember, in vino veritas, in wine, truth. Torture is often one of the least effective ways to get information out of somebody. 18. Back to the convention. 18. All effects and articles of personal use except arms, horses, military equipment, and military documents shall remain in the possession of prisoners of war. Likewise, their metal helmets and gas masks and like articles issued for personal effects. Effects and articles used for their clothing or feeding shall likewise remain in their possession, even if such effects and articles belong to their regulation military equipment. At no time should prisoners of war be without an identity card, identity documents. The detaining power shall supply such documents to the prisoners of war who possess none. Badges of rank and national badges of rank and nationality, decorations, and articles having, above all, a personal or sentimental value may not be taken from prisoners of war. Sums of money carried by prisoners of war may not be taken away from them except by orders of an officer, and after the amount and particulars of the owners have been recorded in a special registered and an itemized receipt has been given, legibly inscribed, with the name, rank, and unit of the persons issuing the said receipt, sums of the currency of the detaining power, or which are changed into such currency at the prisoner's request, shall be placed to the credit of the prisoner's account as provided in Article 64. The detaining power may withdraw articles of value from prisoners of war only for reasons of security. When such articles are withdrawn, the procedure laid down for sums of money impounded shall apply. Such objects, likewise, the sums taken away in any currency other than that of the detaining power, and the conversion of which has not been asked for by the owner, shall be kept in the custody of the detaining power, and shall be returned in their initial shape to the prisoners of war at the end of their captivity. Article 19. Prisoners of war shall be evacuated as soon as possible after their capture to camps situated in an area far enough from the combat zone for them to be out of danger. Only those prisoners of war who, owing to wounds or sickness, would run greater risks by being evacuated than by remaining where they are, may temporarily be kept back in a danger zone. Prisoners of war shall not be unnecessarily exposed to danger while awaiting evacuation from a fighting zone. Article 20. Evacuation of prisoners of war shall always be effected humanely and in conditions similar to those for the forces of the detaining power in their changes of station. The detaining power shall supply prisoners of war who are being evacuated with sufficient food and portable water, and with the necessary clothing and medical attention. The detaining power shall take all suitable precautions to ensure their safety during the evacuation, and shall establish as soon as possible a list of the prisoners of war who are evacuated. If prisoners of war must during evacuation pass through transit camps, their stay in such camps shall be as brief as possible.